Hello, young friends. What an honor connecting with you for more than one reason. While you are my future, you are future of this country, and you're all assets to humanity. It's an honor that I have been given an opportunity by the Unacademy to speak to you the aspirants of leadership, in leadership, of leadership, who all are aspiring to be somebody in their life, whether in private sector leadership or in the public sector leadership. And I'm absolutely honored to share with you my lifelong experiences. I want to thank Gaurav Munjal and Roman Saini. I, um, I saw these young men when they were seeding this. So do I begin again? Or I hope you got me. But I want to begin by saying thank you to Gaurav Manjal and Roman Seni. I remember how these two young men were seeding this Unacademy at the time I met them, and how brilliantly they've done, catapulted to make it almost a unicorn and even more. And I have no doubt that they will be world's finest Unacademy, uh, grooming leadership in public and private sector or otherwise in times to come. They have my blessings. So, friends, here are, let me come to my questions I have for you, which I'll try and address. Let's come to question one. Here are my questions on leadership and fearless governance. Maybe you know that I've just released a book called Fearless Governance. It's based on my 5 years of experience working in Puducherry as its lieutenant governor. And as soon as I moved on from the service, I used the whole of last year to write. So it's basically a 6 years of work, 5 years of work actually with hands on. And the sixth year is I spent writing. Now, friends, I'm going to answer your questions, which I have. And then I request you to be ready to give me your takeaways in the end. I'll spare some time to take on the chat box your takeaways. So be prepared. You should not be in for a surprise. Why I want your takeaways is because I want to know whether you internalized what I've shared with you, and that I made sense, if I've made sense. Because our objective is that you giving me so much of time, and I believe you are so many. You're 2,305 listening to me. Imagine, it's not a small number, and it's a growing number. So many of us are giving 1 hour to this cause, so many thousands of hours. You're already across 24,000. What I'm saying, to 2,466 right now. So I want you to internalize it. And then when I open the chat box, then I will ask you to give me your takeaways. And I like to see whether, and then I see if there's a need for me to sum up or give you anything more. But I also want to tell you this is not the only session. We will be following up this session with a full discussion on the book Fearless Governance, which will be announced by the Unacademy, where we will talk about all the concepts of leadership and good practices I've left out. So let me come to the first question, beginning with the first question given by Kirti Bhatt. She says, prosperous Puducherry, and what's the difference between vision and goal? Was it a vision or a statement that you had complete conviction in it? What do you draw? Where do you draw the line between vision and goal? So the key words are prosperous Puducherry. Yes, I did coin a vision. So let me come back. Sorry, the system asked me to refresh. So the first word is prosperous Puducherry. It's a fact. It was a vision statement. And you're asking me, what is the difference? Where do you draw the line between vision and goal? Vision is a dream. Vision is out there. It's imagination. It's an aspiration. So vision is what I want to look ahead, what I want to see, happen. That's a vision. It's truly the vision. I want to see, I want to feel, I want to experience. It's a vision. And what is a goal? Goal is the journey towards that vision. And there can be many goals to that vision. So vision can be large or one vision. For instance, when the Prime Minister says Atam Nirbhar Bharat, Atmanirbhar Bharat, make in India. What does he say? The goals are every aspect of whatever we produce, whatever we import can be substituted by Atmanirbharta. That's why we've seen what a large percentage of the budget had gone into local defense production, and it's mandatory that there will be an Indian manufactured component in that tendering. So that's the steps towards achieving the goal of Atmanirbhar. So the vision of the Prime Minister, or the vision of at the moment India, is Atmanirbhar Bharat. Mine was prosperous Puducherry, means that all these 14, 15, 16 lakh people living in all four conclaves of Puducherry, they live in prosperity. They live a better quality of life. They live safe. So all those, now the goals were, how do I achieve those steps towards achieving my, so the difference between the vision and goal is, can be lost. Vision cannot be measured sometimes, but the goal is measurable, because how much did you, like for instance, you with the UPSC, your vision is you want to be a public servant and a successful, and you want to make it to the UPSC. How will you achieve it? Your goals would be, let me study with this chapter so much today. I will take a self-test. I must score 10 on 10 when I get myself tested. And these are small goals, and these are long goals, and these are journeys. So there's a difference between vision and goal. Vision is an aspiration. Vision is limitless. Goal is limited. Vision is immeasurable sometimes. Measurable, but immeasurable sometimes. But goal is measurable. So that's a larger destination, as I feel. So goals produce results. Vision may not. Okay, go ahead. Next question. Let me go to the next question. Your next question of Maitri Prabha is, what was it about Puducherry when you said, I left a piece of myself before you embarked on your journey that picked your heartstring? Now, this is coming obviously from Maitri, who's read the chapter 2 of the Fieldless Governance book. It's a fact that where does it come from? Let me put it in context for you. And the context is that many years ago, my friend Chandra Griani, who was an IAS officer and was secretary to the governor in Tamil Nadu, she drove me from Madras, from Tamil Nadu to Puducherry. I had not seen Puducherry till then, a decade ago. And she said, Kiran, have you seen Puducherry? I said, no, I haven't. I've heard so much about it, but I've read about it, but I love to. How far is it? She said, just 2.5 hours drive. It's beautiful road. It's very nice. It's a fact. The road was brilliant. She drove me to, and we went to the ashram straight away. And when I went to the ashram, the Sri Aurobindo ashram, where mother and Sri Aurobindo are that's their resting place, one of the most spiritual places on the country. When I went there and I gave my reverence, and when I bowed my head before the samadhi of mother and Sri Aurobindo, something in me said, go visit Rajnivas. Go visit Rajnivas. And I asked my friend Chandra, I said, Chandra, where is Rajnivas here? She says, Piche hai, dusri gali, second way, just behind a lane behind. I said, can we go there? She says, of course we can go. Can you believe it? We just walked it from Aurobindo ashram. We just walked to Rajnivas. And we went to the gate, and security asked us. They looked at our credentials a little. They connected with the secretary, the additional secretary who was there inside, Mr. Srinivas, and we walked in. And as I walked in, it's something like there was something waiting, something vibrant, something different, something spiritual about it, something connecting. But I did not know at that time. So I went, wondering if the Lieutenant Governor is in the chair. He wasn't there. He wasn't there. So the additional secretary, who later on also became my additional secretary, Mr. Srinivas, he's mentioned in the book, he gave us a cup of tea. We had a little chat, and Chandra and I walked back. That's a fact, that when I walked back, it's a fact, when I walked back, I think, I do not know, but I love the trees. I love the palm trees. I love the mango trees. I love the flora and the fauna. Something of me got left behind, but I would not know why and where. So it's a fact, Maitri, that it happened, but I wanted to give you why am I saying left and how did I go to Puducherry those years ago, and why am I recalling now? Because this is where it's explained in the book. that I probably left a piece of myself. Next question. This is my third question, which I'm answering for you, Neeraj. Neeraj S. You mentioned tennis in your foreword, as well as your second chapter. Is there something specific that you learned from tennis that you still practice in your civil work? Friends, I've highlighted the word tennis for you because I feel that all education must include sports, a sport, an extracurricular activity. And if it is competitive, nothing better. But if it's team game, very good. So a game, an outdoor game, a competitive game, traveling with the game, having friendships with the game, learning to play by the rules, learning to prepare for tennis or for the tournament. And let me tell you, it's sports. I would also include an extracurricular activity. It could be music, it could be art, it could be anything. But tennis is outdoor. Now it can be badminton, it can be athletics. So what I am saying, tennis, I played tennis, but tennis was my family game, as my father and the whole family was a tennis lover, and we used to all play. The whole family was on the tennis circuit for days together. It was very rare that a whole family of sisters, the parents, are playing the tennis circuit. I'm talking the years when your parents were born. So it's very, very, that senior. So sports, what books give you, sports can also give you. But sports, what sports gives you, book may not give you. So when you combine sports, tennis and activity, it makes a lot of tennis and education books, it makes a lot of difference. And your whole approach to your work changes, because that's what I said. Something specific that you learned from tennis? Yes, I learned to prepare. I learned to compete. I learned to take the stress. I learned to stay fit. I learned to stay very concentrated. I learned to earn my trophy. I learned to lose. I learned to prepare out of losing. How do I win? So many things which you will read books. You will read others' lives. But when you experience it yourself and you play by the rules and you're playing openly and you are looking at the umpire and you're looking for judgment, you question the judgment, but you also finally take the call. You see the Wimbledon, they have to take the call. So what I'm saying is that sports is very, very important. Stick to play a game, because when you're going to be interviewed, you will be asked these questions. Do you play a game? Which game do you play? And who are the champions in that game? What did it teach you? This will prepare you for being all-rounders. Today's world is for all-round. And best thing is tennis gave me stamina, because it gave me endurance. It also gave me patience. It gave me strategy. See that? It gave me integrity, because you have to play fair and you have to deserve to win. You don't get a trophy. It's not a gift. It has to be earned. So what sports gives you, what tennis gave me, was all these qualities of fairness and fighting back, stamina, not giving up, continuing to play endurance test. So I think what tennis gave me helped me a lot to enter the Indian Police Service. But for tennis, I don't think IPS would have happened. So let me go to the next question. I do apply all these qualities now. I may not play competitive tennis. I may just play club tennis. But you see, all those qualities enter your work. That's the reason you see the book. The final year, it was a COVID year. Instead of sulking away, I had all the data with me. I brought in all my valuable documentation, and I had my team with me. We started to work and pull out of the data and write the book. How methodically and organized I was. That's what happens in sports. You become very organized, and you also know how to use your time better. Okay, Neeraj, next question. The third question is from Shama Begum. When you say a sense of belonging rejuvenates a problem solving, you're all reading it on the screen. And what is a sense of belonging? Says rejuvenates a problem solving in any service. Is it always a sense of belonging that will enable you to reach great heights? Sometimes is it just the duty you have promised to uphold? Remember, as UPSC candidates, what will be different from you and the others is a sense of belonging. When I took over Puducherry, see the prosperous Puducherry concept when I gave you in the first one? It was a sense of belonging, that I will now belong to Puducherry. I have been appointed, but now Puducherry is mine. I am Puducherry. So it's be prosperous Puducherry means a celebration of combined collective community prosperity. It was a beginning of belonging, and you never destroy your own. You don't hurt a belonging. You love a belonging. Belonging means you're related. You are linked with it. You are hitched to it for it's by because you belong to it. It's a mother belonging to the child belonging. It's an irrefutable. It's a strong bond of belonging. So you adopt, you acquire, you belong to each other. Now the duty difference in the duty is duty can be given and taken. Belonging need not be taken and given. Belonging is your own inner relationship and collection. The big difference between belonging and sense of duty. Duty is an assignment. Duty can be a project, which you may, duty is a part of the belonging, but duty can be separated from two. I remember reading Sri Ravi Shankar, he's saying, how will corruption fall? He says, when you belong to that. Corruption will not happen when that belongs to you. You will not corrupt a system if you feel you belong to it, because it will be sacred for you. So sense of belonging and a duty, there's a big difference. Sense of duty is something which can be, it's external also, it's an internal also, but belonging is 100% internal. It's an emotional connect. Okay, Shama, next question. The next question is Jayendra Bhag. He says, you mentioned collaborating with the prevalent officers about the imminent issues and ensuring everyone's concerns are taken care of. Is this something you believe in till date? Yes, I do. I believe in collaboration. I believe in teamwork. I believe in coordination. I believe in working together, and that too with community or the staff members. Yes, I am a strong believer in collaborator. I'm a family person, and I start making workplaces as extended family. So asking for options to solve a problem, you said, it can be counterproductive? No, it's not counterproductive. When you are on a listening mode and you are open to learning and growing and resolving, you want to know others' opinions. You never know. It's like research. It's like book research. Plato, Aristotle, and if you go, I've been a student of political thought. I never stopped at one book. I exhausted everything which was written on Plato, everything possible which was written in Aristotle. Those days we didn't have the Google and we didn't have the research benefits of Wikipedias. So one had to go to the hard copy. If there are 8 books of Plato, I will try and allow 4 books allowed. Take all the 4 books, read everything about Plato on that chapter, and then give it back, which means there were so many different opinions about Plato. What happened was that when I read all these opinions, it didn't confuse me. It made me a master of that subject. I could answer questions coming from any direction. No wonder that when I sat for the examination, I scored the highest. It's because of the kind of extra preparation I did. So it was like opinions. What do they think? When you listen to an opinion, listen to the person who's even at the other end of the meeting. Learn to be a listener. A good leader is always a listener and speaks in the end after listening to all. And if people who are trying to be silent and quiet, probe them, saying, okay, 2 words, what's your opinion? I want your opinion. Sometimes the people are shy or they're hiding it. They may come up with the best message. So remain a learner as officials and seek out opinions from people. Don't be afraid whether they're critical or otherwise. Listen to the opinion, take into account all, and then take a decision. You are the leader. Yes, next. Next question. Shivali, here's your next question. Through the chapters, there's a sense of sentiment and emotion that pervades when you took your oath on Mother's Day. My question is, do you lead with the mind or lead with the heart? It's situational. Sometimes you lead with the total intelligence. You deal with your mind, and it's situation somewhere your heart takes you. Sometimes your intuition takes you. So I think it's a question of sometimes both are applied. It's very important. If you notice the Prosperous Puducherry mission, I'm still at that. Prosperous Puducherry was both intellectual and heart. Heart was loving the place. Mind was the vision which I must give, because that's what my position demands. So you lead with both mind and heart. Like for instance, if I would go on the spot to see a problem, I led with the mind because I wanted to know what's the problem. How can I find a solution? Why are the people coming to me with a grievance? Why? I want to know why. I want to analyze it strategically. Then when I go there, I feel it, I see it, and all my five senses are at it. And then I know what are the possible solutions where people are already. So I think where the mind should overrule means intellect, your thoughts, your intellect overrules, or where your heart overrules, the emotion overrules. I think that's where a lot of things come by experience. But a good leader is agronomous. It's called it's a the male and the female. It's agronomous. I forget the word, but where you are androgynous. Yeah, the word is androgynous. Androgynous is where you have the best of the male traits, best of the female traits, and you become a combination. I believe Mahatma Gandhi was considered an androgynous manager. He had the warm heart, and yet he had a decisive nature of all kinds. So these are considered male and female traits, though I'm not, no more are they. But when they merge, when the two genders, two androgynous qualities of the mind and the heart merge, you become a Gandhi leader, or the Nelson Mandela kind, where they have the heart and head at the right places. So most of the leadership today, popular leadership, successful leadership, men or women, are androgynous. They've got the best of the traits of the male trait and the female trait, and they're strong, they are warm, they are compassionate, they are nurturing, they are caring, and they are sometimes very democratic, sometimes very dictatorial, but very taking a full accountability for what they do. Okay, let me go to the next question. Aditya Nath says, you said the mantra that worked for you was being an early bird. Is that something you would perpetuate? Do you think each to his own philosophy? What worked for you might not work for everybody, especially we are a generation of late nighters. No problem. I think it's important to know your body clock. It's important to know where are you comfortable, where is your energy best at. It's important to know there is no right or wrong to my mind. However, everybody talks about the early hours of the morning because maybe that suits them. That's where they biologically is, or they've trained themselves to be. But it's not necessarily the best or the least. I think sometimes late in the hour, you are quiet, it's still, and it's undisturbed. As long as your body tells you which is your best hour of productivity and creativity, I don't think there is anything to worry about it. You can be early bird or late bird, doesn't matter. As long as you choose and you know your body biologically, where are you your creative best. So Aditya, rest assured, there's no marks for this. But if you are a lazy person, it's laziness which is keeping you and unnecessarily making you lethargic, then I think there's something else you need to look at. But if you are sleeping a little late, but then using your later hours to maximum creativity, maybe you're catching up with your sleep. It's very, very important to have a good sleep, because sleep is the best energizer, but not lethargic, but a good sound sleep. Carry on. 8. We got another. Okay, we got 12 of them, 4 of them quickly, then we'll have time for generic questions. Do you still follow the good morning nutrition mantra? That's a question by Nigel. Nigel, you must first of all know what is good morning nutrition. Good morning nutrition is about 4 letters. It's a best quote. It's a good thought in the morning where I've been sharing good morning nutrition on my Twitter handle for the last nearly 10 years. 10 years. And that was how I started. And I used to wish good morning. So rather than saying good morning, because I've been nutritioning myself with positive ideas, I started to share good morning nutrition. In fact, that's what I hashtag. Good morning nutrition is my hashtag. And I give an interesting thought according to my feeling of the day. And I save it at night. I give a voice over it. And then I release it and tweet it in the morning. I put it on LinkedIn. I also put it on Instagram. I also put it on my Facebook. I greet my friends, and there are quite a few, as you know, there are quite a few. I think about more than 13 million, where I reach out my morning nutrition to everybody, which is my friends. It's like an emotional link on one single thought. And my WhatsApp friends, all of them, I greet them as morning. This is what I started with Puducherry. When I didn't know any public officials, how do I greet them? And how does a lieutenant governor greet them? And I used to greet them by a good morning nutrition. I used to send them a wonderful thought and it was a very interesting, inspirational thought, all positive, about leadership, about integrity, about work, about relationships, about friends, about nature. So I used to do this morning nutrition, share it with them with a voiceover. So they heard my morning nutrition with a voiceover, which was just about just a few words which Twitter allows. So that's, I continue, I still follow. You, in fact, if you start following if you start connecting with me on my social media handles, you will get the morning message of the day, of the morning. You can start with me with the morning nutrition, a very positive thought. So you're most welcome. But I can tell you that if you store these and make your own library, you will love to return to them time to time. Maybe share this. How we all say good morning. So we'll say good morning nutrition. You share it also with a thought. Nigel, that's what it is. So why I did it is explained in the chapter in the book, Good Morning Nutrition. I've given some samples of the Twitter, which is the message I gave. It's a part of that book. Carry on. Question 9. My question 9 is from Ankit Parekh. The political establishment had the set ideas claiming to be legal pundits. This is a bold statement and an ongoing conundrum that we assume most political personal face. How did you tackle them? I think these are the real challenging chapters of the book, which you may read. There were 3 consecutive chapters, one by one, about how the then chief minister conducted himself. The problem here is that here was an elected representative and here was an appointed officer. I was an appointee. I was appointed by the President of India. He was elected by the electorate, etc. He was a political elected and I was an appointee. But according to the Puducherry Union Territory Act, Lieutenant Governor is not a full governor. Is a lieutenant governor, which I'm sure you read for your UPSC examinations, has executive powers, is also termed as an administrator, and is the head of the Consolidated Fund of Puducherry, has service matters, financial matters, contractual, disciplinary matters, everything. So, in fact, he is the real executive. Financial powers, service matters rest at the table of the lieutenant governor. In fact, there's a whole book chapter on legal powers. Why did I hold my first meeting with the legal? Once I knew at the time of taking over that these are my legal frameworks, this is my legal space, and I start to perform my legal space with a sense of responsibility, with a sense of decisiveness, it really shook them, because they've had governors in the past who were probably rubber stamps. They were going along with them. They were, first of all, before I took over 2 years, they did not have a full-time lieutenant governor. And when you don't have a full-time lieutenant governor, what happens is that everything is done on a fax. Then it was a fax or an email. It's that kind of attention is never paid, or that kind of discussion doesn't happen sometimes. So I'm not saying they were all wrong. I'm not saying they were all right, but it was an absentee leadership. Here was a hands-on leadership who came with a prosperous Puducherry mission, with a T mantra given saying trust, empowerment, and accountability. And also knowing my legal powers, and I have done my law degree, I understand how to understand the law. When I start to apply the law and I start to apply financial prudence, it did hurt the political establishment, because this is not what they thought. They thought, and I think there's a chapter in the book, if you read it, it talks about their first dinner with me. If you read that chapter, First Dinner with Me, they actually expected, and they slipped it out of their mouth, saying we were expecting a rubber stamp, because because they didn't know much of English. So I think that's where they happened. They literally translated it to rubber stamp. And when I asked them, what do you mean by rubber stamp? They didn't know. They were embarrassed. That chapter is explaining, it's a howler. In fact, you laugh at reading the chapters, what happened when they followed it up by a dinner. So had their own set ideas, and their set ideas was the lieutenant governor, like a constitutional of a full-time governor, but this was a union territory. It was not a state. It's a union territory. And the Union Territory Act is giving me clear positions, clear responsibilities. And even if I delegate, I remain responsible. That means that tomorrow the auditor generals can hold me responsible for delegating something which I had no control over, and a scam has happened. I'm equally responsible, and some governors have faced legal. I have no legal immunity as a lieutenant governor. There's no legal immunity. Whereas full-time constitutional lawyers, governors have legal immunity. Lieutenant Governor Puducherry, lieutenant governors do not have legal immunity. So, but political establishment thought that they could have their way, and they tried to look for clauses and laws and buts. But in the end, the Supreme Court of India and Honorable Madras High Court constantly reiterated the validity and upholding the Union Territory Act, which laid down my financial service matters and disciplinary. So every time they tried to make inroads or they tried to question it, courts had to be brought in to somehow reiterate the position. In the end, I've left no confusion. One judgment after the other reestablished the role of the Lieutenant Governor as laid down under the Union Territory Act. But you have to read that chapter. It'll be good for you because you can be asked these questions in the UPSC. And that chapter enables you to be thoroughly thorough in what I'm saying. Let's go 10. Question number 10. Sabrina Norath, when you banned the siren, did you consider yourself as an ordinary person, or did you want to be more grounded to the people you're serving to develop a relationship? Yes, this was the story of that chapter where it says, why did I ban the siren? Reason was, I was sitting in the car when the first day when I, as a lieutenant governor, was driven down. And when I saw the siren blowing, I saw people jumping up because the car coming from behind, people suddenly jumping up and suddenly taken aback. What's happened? And I saw them. Some were surprised, some were shaken, some wondered who's this intruder? What's happening? And I couldn't take it. I imagined myself, if I was also on the road and I've got a siren, I can understand an ambulance, I can understand a fire brigade, I can understand a siren by the police. But I don't understand the siren of my kind, from my car. So I told my pilot, please stop this. I can't see people jumping off, and because I'm in no hurry. Number two, I don't need this kind. Let traffic manage the traffic. Even if it's chaotic, let it be. I'm sure that's the only way they set it right. So I banned the siren. I did consider myself as one of them. And did I to be more grounded? Yes. I didn't want to be disliked. I wanted to establish a relationship with people to say, Lieutenant Governor is one of you. We are friends. I'm here to serve you, not to displace you. So that's why I banned the siren, because it, to me, was a disrespect to a common man. It's okay for ambulance, police, and fire brigade, or for an emergency, but not for a person who has the time and can go by the traffic rules. And I was under no security threat either. Next. Now, question 11. When you speak about leadership in chapter 11, as a woman, it must have some challenges in getting a predominantly male team to have your back. How did you navigate this challenge if there was one? Look, very importantly, it's the leadership in the woman who is leading the male team. If that woman is skilled, knowledgeable, has management skills, and is highly educated, and also coming with experience, and also having a reputation, sometimes having a reputation of getting things done. I did not enter Puducherry without a reputation. I'd done my Inspector General prisons, I'd done my traffic assignments, I'd earned a Magsaysay award, I'd authored a couple of books, I used to be on the television debates. So when I entered, the male team knew who I was. So they were actually very respectful. They were very happy that they have a woman with that kind of experience. And my reputation was of a team builder. My reputation was not a loner who would walk away with everything, but somebody who would distribute the credits. I had a biography on my life already. There was so much already on the Wikipedia. So I think I must tell you, there's a difference between a woman who's starting the work and another woman who's entering the service with a large amount of wind behind. So you remember, reputation precedes you. When you have experience, your reputation precedes. When you're new, you build the reputation gradually. When you go to the next assignment, this past reputation precedes you. This is what happened in my life. Every time I went to whichever assignment, my reputation proceeded. And one thing was proceeding completely was that she's a no-nonsense woman. Secondly, she was not going to have any relaxation for dishonest behavior. Three, she is going to take responsibility for her decisions. Fourth, she will have no impatience for mismanagement. But she's a teacher at heart, and she will teach you and groom you. So I think my male team warmed up beautifully to me. In fact, if you must read Team Rajdevas chapter in the book, how we built the team, you must read the chapter 10 a.m. in that book, where you will hear how we were working at 10. All these factors, how I did a team building, is very, very detailed in the book. It will help you a lot in as you work and as you sit for your exam and as you subsequently, because the whole object of this book writing has been to groom leadership. For me, this section, this opportunity is to groom you. So I'm trying to take you back to say, go back for details, because in the short question answer, I cannot give you all the details, but the how of the team building is given to you in that chapter. Go and read it. How the male team, hi, they miss me even now. I miss them and they miss me. They took me as a mother, they took me as a friend, they took me as a colleague, and they took me as one of them. Family member, oh God, the amount of fun we had as a team together. We walked together, we sang together, we danced together. We had we ate together, we cut the cakes together. Everything was together. It had to be teamwork and not mine. Anything was just by myself, I think it would not have been achieved. So it's been a team achievement. Look at the way we built the team and see how the team delivered itself. All the victories, the legal victories which we had over the political classes, the credit goes to the team. And how every team was groomed, every member actually grew in their own shoes by how they started with me and how they ended up. I think it's a story by itself. So read it. Read for yourself. Next one. Question 12 by Ralph Nair. When you mention the open house, how do you choose which grievance to redress and which not? As a civil servant, you would be exposed to multiple a day, helping me understand what the thought process is in choosing the game. Look, when you open house was one where Raj Nivas was open for 3 hours every evening, Monday to Thursday. Anybody could come, take a token, come to the lounge, sit in the lounge, watch the television. We had a big screen. The housekeeping will serve you a cup of tea, green tea, and a biscuit. Until then, you have and you will be called in turn by turn. It was not a sitting open house. It was open house. I used to stand behind a large, tall lectern, which fitted my height. And they were coming, and we had a space of that desk. They would meet me turn by turn, and they would be heard. Now, the question you are asking me is, how did I select? Look, when you start listening to people, you know what is urgent, what is important, and what is not important. So when you start earning, this is urgent, I have to check it out right away. So we would check it out right away. This is urgent. It cannot wait. Second is important. Okay, I can take it for my weekend rounds and I can hold on. Something is not important. I can take time and try and understand. So what is urgent? We would ring up the colleague, a junior colleague who's कि तुम्हारे department से ये आया है, आपको क्या कहना है? It was urgent because it was a question of urgency. So I think that's where your experience tells you when you hear it. It's like a doctor, a surgeon. He would say straight away, surgeon, go for surgery. Somebody said, no, go for tests. Somebody say, here's a little medicine, go, take a crocin and go. That's what a doctor does. An experienced doctor knows when to take a person immediately for a surgery, or come back again tomorrow, or here's a crocin, you're fine. So don't worry. So I think that's what happens. It's when you even adjust, the doctor also chooses the patient turn by. So this is how I could choose. I could pick up the urgent, the important, and it's not important, something which could wait. And it worked. And you can read the chapter on grievance redressal system and the open house in the book. You will get to know more. Next. Question number 13. If you pick up 3 traits as a national leader, national civil servant, what would they be? I think everything begins with integrity. Your first of all, do you want to be a leader? Or you want to be just a leader for what? First of all, leadership means a lot of responsibility. But leadership for what? Oh, I want to be seen, media must see, somebody must write on me, and I have to be this. then you're not a leader. Sorry, you're not a leader. But if your purpose is if your purpose is public service, then you are a leader, because then you are having your performance or a position with a purpose. So first thing is, what is your purpose? If you're clear on your purpose, a national leader. Now, if you're looking for what national leader? Political leader. So are you looking for national leader? Do I take it as national leader, political leader? Wasn't Mahatma Gandhi a national leader? But he had no position. Wasn't Nelson Mandela a national leader? But he had no position till he came in later on, become the president. Martin Luther King wasn't a political issue, but wasn't he national leader? So which national leader are you talking about? Is it an elected leader, or is it somebody who is exercising amazing influence and impact and is leading the nation towards a cause? I think it's very, very important. So if you look at these major leaders we are talking about, then all of them had one thing. They had a purpose, and it was selfless, and they had integrity of purpose, and they had everything to give. They were not asking anything for themselves. They were asking for others. They were seeking out to others. To me, a national leader of that kind of character means there's a purpose, there's a mission statement, there's a passion, there's a personal sacrifice in it, and it's a sense of giving, and there's a total integrity. So there are more than 3 traits. So it's a political leader, or if it's a leader of the kind I've spoken to you, basically all these common traits are universal. Next. I come from an economically challenged family. How do I overcome this obstacle and still achieve whatever you have achieved? Look, I cannot generalize. I do not know which situation you are in, whether you are in a rural background or you're in urban setting. I do not know your families, because I think it's very individualized. You have to become, this is not generic. I cannot give you a generic answer, but all I can say is apply your mind. Look at what is possible. Look at what can you do. Can you do part-time earning? Can you support your family in any way part-time? Can you grow anything? Can you intern somewhere? So can you increase your income by extra work rather than begging and borrowing? Can you go to a bank to say, I need an educational loan, and you know the scheme? I am saying there's no one answer. It is, what are you? As long as you're not physically challenged of that kind, then you are not challenged. If you got your head, heart, and hands, you are not challenged. I would challenge only that person who has issues of certain very severe issues of disability, which you call special ability. But if you got your head, the heart, and the hands at the right place, and you got the legs to walk in, you are not challenged. You have to generate your own economy. That means use your head, the heart, and the hands to provide for yourself. And I can tell you that struggle actually will make you a better person, because it's like Sona going through the fire. So you will be better. Your diamond will be better. So maybe you emerge as a diamond because you've seen a suffering, you've seen deprivation, or you've seen inadequacy. In fact, sometimes not having anything in abundance makes you a better person. So I will not call it economically challenged. I would say, if you had said, I'm physically challenged, then I will ask you which physical challenge. Because even in physical challenge, I've seen some people done outstandingly well. They've done exceedingly well. I've come across many girls and boys who were physically challenged, but have made it very well to the service. So therefore, even physical challenge of which kind is important to know. But I will not consider you economically challenged if you got your head, the heart, and the hands, and you're willing to work anywhere. You can do part-time, pick up any work which can give you an extra income to provide for yourself. And I'm sure you can. I'm not saying I'm not mentioning these are the possible things you can do, but there are many. I don't want to overrate, underrate anything. But all I can say is even Dr. Abdul Kalam went about selling newspapers. Even he did. So I'm not saying sell newspapers. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying apply your mind and see what can you do better. How can you challenge support yourself? Next question. Next one. What is one piece of advice you would give to an UPSC aspirant? I think you must know the intention. Why do you want to join the government service? Why? It's very, very clear. It's not for job. It's not a business. It's a very good service, but it provides for you. So be very clear on the purpose of joining the UPSC at any service at any level. If your purpose is confused, you will remain confused for the rest of your life and you'll get thapparod, hit from all directions. And then you'll still hang on to the service because you want your security and the pension in the house and the transport and the medical. But if your purpose is clear, then you're ready and then you thoroughly enjoy it because you'll enjoy so much of good reputation. So my advice for you is be very clear and don't just do it for the sake of interview that you want to pass because this is the right answer. Don't forget. First of all, be truly convinced why you want to join the UPSC. It's not a business. It's a mission. Public service is a mission. It's not a business. And remain on the mission mode. It provides for you very, very well. So your family must be fully behind it to understand why you've joined the public service as a UPSC aspirant. So inculcate that passion and the mission statement. So therefore, start volunteering now as a student. Start volunteering. You must have been NSC, NSS, NCC. Start volunteering good work. Volunteering, work with some NGOs and try and see how much feeling you have for the common person. Next. I'm rushing through so that you have some minutes for feedback. Excited for this session. I wanted to ask, if you were not a civil servant, what would you be? I have done law degree. I could have practiced law. I've done a PhD. I could have taught you. Could have been a lecturer. I could have been both. But I'm also running two NGOs. So I'm also social entrepreneur, where I'm all the time giving from whatever sources I can contribute, raise resources, and give and provide for millions. So I have two foundations, Navjyoti India Foundation and India Vision Foundation. Navjyoti reaches out to rural and the urban poor, provides skill education, women empowerment, etc. And India Vision Foundation educates prisoners' children, which I set up during my tenure for the prisons, and the Magsaysay Award was dedicated to this award. So I am also social entrepreneur. So I am that, but I could have been a practicing lawyer, or I could have been a teacher in the university. That's it. So next one. Do you believe women can have more roles in senior positions, or will always be continuous struggle? It depends on the woman. It will be a continuous struggle because it's linked with the culture of if the woman is strong, qualified, confident, self-reliant, secure within, she makes a position. She makes through. But if she's a little diffident and the culture of the organization is also not very clear concerning women's leadership, she will be in trouble. Because she is diffident herself. She's shaky herself. And the organization is also does not know what to left or right. Where do we go? But if she is confident and she knows her way through, then she will make her way through. And maybe at a time change the culture of the organization. Or not withstand nonsense and also make amends. So it is a continuous struggle for two people. One, a woman who's not very sure of herself, or the organization which is culturally divided and is not sure what to do. That's a continuous struggle, both for the organization as well as her. But where she is confident, then she will not make it a struggle. She will make the way through and then open the way for others. She'll set the ball rolling. She will be a role model and she will prove to herself, to the others, what way. She will be a mentor. She could be a mentor. 18. You have another? How do you always stay fearless? Janki says that. Look, I don't stay fearless. It's not consciousness of being fearless. I'm a doer. And I'm a responsible person. I believe in doing, and I believe in taking no nonsense. And I know my capacity and my capability and my resources. So within that, I don't let them go. If I have the position, I have the power, I have the resources too, why should I be afraid? But if I don't have all that, then I try and raise it. If I have to, that's my responsibility, then I raise it. It's not being fearless, it's being decisive. It's fearless, just being decisive also is part of fearlessness. But fearless is also being very responsible. So I exercise my responsibility situationally. And in those resources, I deliver. Then I'm not afraid. I'm willing to take on the consequences, as I do believe in accountable leadership if I'm in the leadership position. Yes, Janki. How does one improve professional ethics? How does one improve professional ethics? Oh, you don't enter the profession without being a person. You've already been a person. You're already a person. So you are the person in the profession. So if you've been not true to yourself, you've been double-minded, you've been double-faced, and you say something else, you mean you're not being trustworthy. You think you will be a great professional? No, you'll get caught one day or other, sooner or later. So can I enable chat now a little? Let me take takeaways. Can I enable the chat? Give me your chat. I have about 6 minutes. Give me your takeaways, please. I'm enabling the chat. Give me the takeaways, please. Go ahead. Give me the takeaways. I will do a summing up and give you gratitude. Oh, some of you class 10 also. How to stay focused. Please stay focused by meditation. A regular silent hour will help you stay focused. What are your takeaways? What will you take away from here? Oh, some of you class 7. My God. Some school children are also in it. Oh, God. But let me tell you, we will go for another session after you all read the book. The soft copy is available with the Unacademy. You can all be gifted that soft copy. Read the soft copy. And it's good for class 12 as well. I'm reading through your chat box and I'm trying to see what else is needed. And I notice that we can have one more session because some of you are class 6. Oh my God. It's been a mixture of students. So a lot of school children have also joined. Superb. How to choose your goal. Ask yourself what you like. How do you ask yourself what you like? Like when I was small, I knew what I wanted to do. I was not that bright to be an engineer. I wasn't that bright to be medical because I was playing tennis. And for that, you needed to go to a laboratory. So I chose liberal arts for public service. So I knew what I wanted to, and I knew what I was not capable of. My inspiration, as somebody's asking, my inspiration is ideas. My inspiration is not persons, but the ideas from those persons. My inspiration is books, spiritual books, ideas from the spiritual books. Staying positive is watch yourself. Do Vipassana meditation or just sit before you sleep every day for 10 minutes. Observe quietude. Be yourself. Read Autobiography of a Yogi. Read Living with Himalayan Masters. Read the book Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill's. It's very, very good books. There are many good books today. But read spiritual books and read motivational books. Be good persons because public servants are watched all directions. What you eat, what you don't eat, what you drink, what are your weaknesses are this all watched when you become public servants. So you are under a camera yourself. While you put cameras around, you are basically under a camera. So don't you think you're not being watched? Actually, when you think you're not being watched, be all the more alert because you're watching your own self. You can serve the nation by remaining healthy and educating yourself better. If you want to be, you are a true patriot. If you remain healthy, be careful how you spend your time, be good, healthy and health, and also then um, even volunteering. So volunteering now, being healthy, and qualifying yourself better and better, equipping yourself with education is true patriotism. Be the Vivekanandas of tomorrow. Be the Vivekananda. Read him. You can stay motivated by self-observation, self-watch. Choose heaven over hell every day. When you get up in the morning, put your feet on the ground, ask yourself, what am I choosing today? Hell or heaven? When you choose heaven, your positivity comes. Or you choose hell, you'll be angry the whole day. So every day, choose heaven over hell. Every day in the morning, when you put your feet, when you're out of the bed, put your feet on the ground, choose heaven. Heaven means all the right positivity. So go ahead and play games, as I already mentioned, as you're mentioning here. I want to be so focusing is you're repeatedly asking me how do we stay focused is by, in fact, by, as I told you, quietude is very, very, you will, even if the thoughts are very crowded, just sit quietly before you sleep, before you run into the bed, sit on your bed with crossed legs and watch yourself. Let the thoughts flow and go. Every day, 15 minutes before you sleep is a very good way of, whether you want to do a mantra jap in that, whether you want to say a prayer in it, whatever is your good feeling, say a prayer of gratitude. Say thank you for the head, the heart, and the hands and the legs. If you got all these four, you are gifted. Any one of you who's got good health, you are gifted. Your five senses are the five wonders of the world. Remember that. Five senses intact are five wonders of the world. You have a treasure. You're already a treasure. You are gifted. What do you do with these five treasures, five wonders of the world, and the head, the heart, and the hands? You got the 3H. The 3H plus 5. Cover the 3H plus 5. Head, the heart, and the hands, the 3H, and your five senses, the eyes, the ears, the nose, the touch, and the smell. If you do that, you are rich. You are rich because of the 3 plus 5. I think we've reached 6 o'clock. Can we call it the class settings? And we can call it. So, friends, we will return to you. The Unacademy will announce when are we going to take the session on the book. They will announce. I want to say bye-bye to you and say thank you for listening to me. I've thoroughly felt fulfilled connecting with you. I've gone through your feedbacks, understand what else you want. We will take it up in the next session when we discuss the book in detail, Fearless Governance. Okay? I want to thank Unacademy for this very intensive 1 hour with all of you. You were 3,223. I want to thank Gaurav Munjal and Roman Sani and his entire team who put it together. The entire team was, can you name those girls and boys which we had? Oh, chat box is still starting, crack it. Chat box open. Takeaways. I've been talking about the takeaways. Are you still wanting to give more takeaways? Chat box open. I think that's done, isn't it? Done. So thank you so much and God bless you.